I keep moving.
Yeah, people like that. Oh, also you should do is when people um, like just do like, hey, I'll subscribe to you if you know, like the kind of like, hey, you have a cool name, I'll subscribe to you.
Yeah.
Do that. I mean, that's what I do. And people go, oh, thanks, I love you, Nomad. I'm like, oh, okay.
If I can. Well, that's just last time I did. I had anybody just walk in on it. So,
Oh, what's the title? Because
it's like,
that's different. Have a weird, unique title that helps too.
oh, I just put looking at some vintage programs, but
Oh,
okay.
just put look at some. Just say I'm looking at some weird books. Because it's true, as it happens. People love that.
Yeah, I do have weird books we're going to look at, but right now we're going to look at this. So now I'm live. So okay, does it? What do you think? That can you see it?
Yeah, let me go right now.
Yeah.
Start speaking. See if it.
Okay. Well, today we're going to be looking at a lot I picked up of.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
This is good. All right. Of some vintage theater and Disney stuff. This particular one is from the National Theater in New York. The copyright date is, I didn't know, it was 1928. So that gets us, it's about 96 years old. It's funny, it's not considered an antique until it's 100. So this one is 4 years away from being an antique. So it's from the Schubert Theater Corporation. I don't know of any of these things here, but sometimes the ads in these are just as fun as reading some of the stuff. We won't read everything in here, but this one has, it says, nude holds the center of the stage. Created but a few months ago, this intriguing shade of powder has been a choice of sophisticates since the day of its premiere. So this is obvious for makeup powder. And then it says a bank statement that any man or woman can understand. So this is from a bank. I guess they're saying, hey, this is how easy it is to understand our bank statements. Yeah. Okay. Trying to make you feel like you're smart then, huh?
Oh, that art. Interesting.
Yeah, I know. This is some interesting art. This is art of the times, though. This is just black and white ink. This is a short story um, about the locket. Now, I don't know if that's the name of the thing that the play that they would be seeing here, but sometimes they would put in stories like this while you're waiting for the play to begin or something like that. You can read something, so they'll include a short story in there. What the man will wear, and then here's some fashion information, and then an ad from John David, the nonchalant dinner jacket. Hi, Rob. And then over here, this is it says theaters under the direction of the Monsieur Schubert. So I guess these are other theaters that they are directing or managing, I guess, at that time. Here's another ad off stage. This is a bird in a gilded cage. And then there's more things you can read about here. Something about England and the shoes. And then here's an ad featuring Mae West. If you don't know who Mae West is, she was a star in the 1920s. She was a kind of like a sultry comedic actor. You can always look her up. She had some pretty funny things. She often starred with W.C. Fields, who was also a comedic actor at the time as well. And then here is an ad for, it says, fat comes at 40 to most people for this reason. Oh boy. It says, at that age, the thyroid gland often loses power, and that gland largely controls nutrition. Well, that's true. It does, and it also controls things like your heart rate, your metabolism, and so forth like that. So, I guess they're talking here about it's a prescription that is perfected. Oh, brother, that's for medication. Embarrassing moments when you run down a friend. Don't explain, don't apologize, be nonchalant. That word shows up here a lot here. In this light a murad and offer him one too. For some reason it says fish. Maybe that's the artist. This was a very popular style of art in the 1920s as well, like the thin line drawings, like that. And this kind of shape of the face, too. Okay, when it's a matter of good taste, Louis Sherry. French chocolate and bonbons. Oh, here's a Who's Who book. We actually have a Who's Who book. Apparently, my wife's grandfather or great grandfather was in the Who's Who book in the 1920s. And it's funny, I told us, well, you know how you get in the Who's Who book is you basically contact them and pay them their fee, and then they put you in the Who's Who book. But it was a way to get your name in there, and people could look you up and say, oh, he must be somebody's in the Who's Who book of whatever. This is the National Theater. There's some information how to contract. And I guess this week they're going to be watching the performance of Trapped. And you can see that there's these are the characters and these are the actors. I've not heard of any of these people, but I am not. That is not my area of expertise. All right, let's see. I think there's another page in. Yep, here we are. This one is the one for silk hosiery, and then the breakers on the oceanfront Atlantic. It's oh, I don't even know what this is. Horton's ice cream. I know what ice cream is. Adrift in New York City is another short story in here that kind of pass the time, before the show starts. You can read something in there. Zip, it's off. Oh, destroy superfluous hair and roots for the face and body. Wow. Just burns the hair right off. Here's an ad for Lifesavers. Contentment after a heavy meal. They aid digestion. I bet they do. They still say peppermint on them. And then here's a diagram of the seating. I guess in case you get lost, you can find your way back. Better take this book with you. Here's an ad for tires. Oh, for Kelly tires. And then this has got the cool ad in the back here for Lucky Strike cigarettes. This marvelous cigarette. And it's got the name of probably an actress at the time who was very famous. She starred in the Three Musketeers. I cannot read the handwriting on that. Okay, let's go on to our next one here. This one is kind of a similar one. It's from the, it says the Vanderbilt Theater. Well, it's kind of came away right here. It's still attached, but it did come away. Some of the ads are same, I guess, and new. They would have the same, same writers and everything for them, but they have different stories too. And the same ads would go through. If you bought an ad in one, you might get it in all of them. Just easier to print them that way. Here's another story. Some of the same. Yep, see, there's the same ads right in here. Same things about theaters under the direction. There's a different Lucky Strike. This one has Walter Hagen, and we looked him up. I believe he is a golfer at the time. Walter Hagen. Same ad there. Different theater. Embarrassing moments when you meet your prospective in-laws for the first time. Be nonchalant. Light a Murad. I've never heard of that brand of cigarette. More than 5 million women are wearing Onyx Point Tex, the original pointed heel stocking. All right, this is what they'll be watching in this production. They're going to be watching Revolt with Hugh Buckler, a play of American life. Let's see if we know anybody in this one. I don't know these people. That doesn't mean that they weren't, famous or anything like that at the time. I just don't know who they are. All right. Let's see if there's any more of those. There's one more like that. It's got a lucky strike on the back. Betty Compson. Not sure who she is, but this one looks like it got chewed up a little bit right there. All right, let's see what they're going to see in this production. All right, Golden Cargo. There's the story of the day there. Oppenheim, Collins. A couple of different ads in there. See this particular, I'm not a font nerd here, but this particular font where you have like the vertical sections of the letters have like a thicker line to them, and the rest of it is very thin. That was a very popular style of printing in the 1920s. I mean, they weren't all like that, but you see there's one that's similar right there. And this one's kind of similar, except they didn't fill in the line. They just outlined it. Nope, here's Silk Sense and the amazing new underwear. There's some advice here about saving money. Okay, let's see. I can see the Hudson River by daylight. That'd be good. Going out at night, you won't see anything. All right. I wonder what the perennial tutor is. And it's not the kind of tutor that teaches you things. It's someone who honks their horn a lot. Oh, there's a whole poem there about that. Here's one of these things. This is the health motor, supposed to help you lose weight around your belly. Those things don't work. Okay, so we're going to be watching here the front page. Right, what are we watching? What are they going to be seeing here? I think that was it. Yeah, the front page. Yeah, the front page. These are the players. Between acts, get yourself a little cigar. Oh, Steinway pianos. Or is it Steinway? Yeah, the Instrument of Immortals. Wow, $875 and up. Man, I wish you could buy a Steinway for $875 now. Oh, look at this. Some suede shoes, silk stockings. People that would go to the theater generally, had some disposable income. And this was, let's see, what was the year? This was 1928. So, this is Depression era stuff here. There wasn't a lot of disposable income, but people would still go to the theater. Okay, well, now we're going to move on to something a little different. This is show information from Las Vegas. This is Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, Circus Maximus. Let's see. You can order bottled wines for your show, and today you'll be seeing George Burns with Bob Anderson. Now, I don't remember Bob Anderson, but anyway, we'll have to see who he is. Well, I know who George Burns is. He was a famous comedian. He used to appear with his wife most of the time, but then he kind of just did his own thing. I don't know what happened to the wife, but her name was Gracie. And then let's see, Bob Anderson. Oh, he's a singer impersonist. I guess this impersonations. Has performed the standing ovations as far-flung venues as Sun City and Beaufort, Swana, South Africa, the Casino del Monte Carlo in Monaco. That was a famous casino. In Finland, Club 58, Geneva, Switzerland, Atlantic City, Las Vegas hotels. He has over 100 television appearances. Well, maybe you know who Bob Anderson is. It doesn't ring a bell with me. And pretty soon they're going to have Donna Summer, the Beach Boys together again. Donald O'Connor and Debbie Reynolds. Armelio Slim's Super Bowl of Poker. And maybe that turned into the World Series of Poker. Let's see. Championship boxing. Gourmet rooms. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot that stuff there. Very, very interesting. All right, and here's another one. This is a different show, I think. Oh no, it's the same one, George Bird. So I got two of the same ones. Okay, then there's this one here, John Davidson. I remember this dude in the 1970s. He was on TV. I think he was also a singer. But this one you go to Bally's and includes 2 drinks per person or 1 bottle of champagne or wine for 2 people. 10% entertainment tax and 5.75 state tax. So you pay of $28.95 is what you pay for John Davidson and 2 drinks or a bottle of champagne. And you know what? I think this is like a table time. Like it would stand up at your table and say, "Oh, hey, let's go see John Davidson tonight, honey." And then I have like 3 of these. I think they're. Well, I have 2 of these that say the Bennington Museum, which apparently is in Vermont. I have to see if that's still there. Oh, that's cool. It's got a little map of the area, so you can make your way around the whole thing. You know, I'm sure it's probably still there. And it tells you the mileage from Bennington to towns and cities in Vermont. Like, I don't know if I want to go to any. It was Montpelier. I think that's the capital. I can go to Massachusetts too. So you can find a year on this. I don't know if they would normally. Well, there's the Grandma Moses Schoolhouse Museum. Oh my! Yeah, it does. I don't see a year printed on it, so they weren't worried about the year. Then I got a second one, the same one, the Bennington, and then the Peter Matterson Tavern Museum. It must be owned by the same. Maybe it's on the same property. They just have their own. No, it looks like a different place altogether. Yep, they got some phone numbers and places you can go to, and the same thing, distance away from where you are right now. And then here is a map of Walt Disney World. Now, this is from 1974. So let me just look up here. Let's find out when Walt Disney World opened. When did Disney World open? 1971. So this is only the 3rd year that it was open. This one. It'd be cool if it was the first year. This is still very early on, and I've been to Disney World once. It's not my thing, even with the kids. We took them because we were in Florida, but we went to Disneyland. I remember when I was a kid, and when we went to Disneyland, they would have. It's much different back then than it is now. Like now, you just pay one huge price, hundreds of dollars to get into this thing, and then you can go on any rides you want, any attractions, everything's already included, right? But back then, you would have different types of, they call them coupons, they're basically tickets. And your A tickets were, you get these different rides you can go on. B tickets were like there's cinema, Frontierland Shooting Gallery. You get to do all these things once the Mad Tea Party, the teacup ride. And then there was C and D. Looks like there's some more different rides here. But the E coupons were supposed to be the best ones. And I don't know why the Country Bear Jamboree. Ugh, Small World. Oh my gosh. You ever been on this thing before? Small World. It I still can remember this thing to this day. It was so creepy. Let me know if you think it was creepy too. I thought so. But anyway, they would go up to E coupons there. So um, you try to save your tickets, because you only got one. You can only go on each thing one time, this way. And I guess that was just the way that they could control uh, how how much use everything got and so forth. So but that's, I guess, they did the same thing back then too. And then here's like Main Street, the railroad tracks, there's Plaza and Town Square. And I don't really remember anything about Disney World. It did cost a lot to get into the thing, but I do remember that when I took my kids. Like I said, we're in Florida. We just went down there for for visiting. We were visiting relatives, and then we decided to go to. We did go to Disney World, I think, and then we went to the Kennedy Space Center, which that was the most interesting thing. It beat Disney World by a lot, I'm telling you, because I remember everything about that place. It was fascinating. Yep, here's they'll show you what's different things are going on. This is what Adventureland is all about. Liberty Square, Frontierland, Fantasyland. I imagine Fantasyland is much different than it is now. I don't know. When I some years ago, I used to travel with a jazz band, and we went to we were performing in France near Lyon, and then one of our gigs that we were performing was um, at Euro Disney, and it was all the annoyance of Disney in French. And it was just that much more annoying because we didn't know what they were saying. Luckily, I mean, the signs would be translated, but like you'd go on the Star Tours and the whole thing would be in French. We're going, oh, okay, what's going on? So here's the GAF was a company that produced film, and I think they're the exclusive film that was sold in Disney properties. So you could take pictures there. They're showing you these are all the spots you want to take pictures. They have little blue dots all over. And they give you tips. There's tips on how to take good photos, I'm sure everyone was trying to do that. I mean, I guess I didn't read this because every time you see photos from Disney that people would take, they were really all that great, Extra pointers for movie fans. Oh, nice. There's all the different shops and stores that were in there. And oh, it's a golf resort. I'm sure there's like 20 of them there now. Some poor kid paddling the canoe, telling the guy behind him, hey, pick up the pace. I'll tell you where Orlando is. Before Disney World, Orlando, I don't think there really was anything really there. It wasn't a big area. And then, yeah, when we did visit there, we went to a restaurant that was across from our hotel in Kissimmee, and it was like it holds the record for the worst restaurant I've ever been to in my life. I don't want to eat anything else in that town, and I didn't really want to eat anything in Florida for that matter at that event. But anyway, this is a postcard of people doing what they normally do in Disney. It looks like they're standing in line. So let's see what's on the back. Oh, just says postcard, Main Street, USA. Checking horses, carriages, gas lamps, and seaboard Victorian elegance are all part of Main Street, USA. With the turn of the century, America lives again in miniature form and in mostly facades, because a lot of these stuff up here is not real. None of this is real, when you think about it. But yeah, they kind of make it look like it's real, kind of like Las Vegas in that respect, So I do have. Hey, how's it going there? Can you have a mod? If you're still there, I will see what I can do about modding you. How can I do this? Add as a moderator. Well, there you go. Hopefully that works for you. I'm not sure. I mean, it felt kind of nice to do that, but I don't really know what it does for you. But hey, yeah, you're welcome there. Use your power wisely, though. All right, here is a magazine. There's something I think in this one I wanted to bring up, but this is a magazine called Science and Mechanics. I don't think it's around anymore. This is from it just says February, and it costs 35 cents. Let's see if we find the year on the inside. Usually the year would be printed. Oh, 1963, the year I was born. Oh, when is Rob going live? I don't know. You want me to go ask him? Hey, Rob. Oh, you know what? Here, I'll just ask him. He's in the house somewhere here. I'll just go ask him. Are you going live today? Your fans want to know. All right, we'll see. When he gets back with me here, I'll let you know what he says. Yeah, he really cut his hair. If he does go live, you'll want to see that. He's really cut his hair short. Okay, so this was what's it, 1963 February. So this was published a month after I was born. I'll let you do the math. Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I'm not looking, my screen that I'm looking at is not in front of me. I have to kind of turn my head. So if I miss any comments or anything like that, my apologies. I'm just so into this. But you can tell just from the design of things back in the 60s, see how these legs on this table kind of go out? It's actually by design that they do this. It was the look then. They have like the legs spread out like that. And the tabletops are usually quite thin. A lot of times they're made out of a wood called teak. Here you can study the law in your spare time. Go to LaSalle Extension University. Oh my, correspondence a law trained man in business. I mean, what what are they saying? You can be a lawyer through mail, correspondence course? I certainly hope not. Maybe you say that if you get a job, say, "Oh, wait, I studied the law." Well, this is what's in this issue right here. The robots cover story, fascinating ancient war machines. Major Bob White and his X-15, all kinds of things on oceanography. There's an automotive section, guns. Okay, he says that he should go live, so maybe when I finish up, I'll let him have the computer, and then he can go live. And I don't know what goes on. I don't really normally watch his because they're usually quite long, and I don't know what's going on. But as long as you guys all enjoy it, that's okay. Okay, so anyway, there's one on guns, inventions. Inventions are always interesting in these. What people are inventing, they said, "Oh, this will solve this problem." We'll see. And then there's a build it section, a black powder plinker. I don't know what that is. Miniature clock case for a pocket watch. Warm and cold air fan. All right, there's a puzzle. Here's an article on pre-midnight sleep more restful than post-midnight. Who knows? I'm not gonna go through the entire magazine, but some of these the ads are my favorite part of this. Like this guy, earn big money, increase the size of your eyes, learn electric appliance repairing at home in your spare. It's always in your spare time. You'll see half of these things if they're a learning course, doing some nonsense in your spare time. Do I ship out of the USA? Yeah, I can arrange for that. It's usually a bit. It's kind of pricey though. Are you in Canada by chance? Because there's a Canadian. There's a mail strike in Canada, and I can't ship to Canada right now. Oh, in the UK. Oh yeah, I can send stuff out. Do you want this magazine or any of those other things I was showing you before, the theater programs? I'll sell it to Al if you want. Yeah, these are a riot. I don't have them listed on anything, so okay, well, you let me know what you want to do, and maybe we can come up with a price. Just about everything I have in my domain here is for sale. But and I have a fair amount of these old magazines. Most of them are like the science related ones, which I really enjoy, myself. But amazing land bargain at sunny Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, it's certainly sunny there. It's like a desert. Drafting and design. Let's see. Oh, learn radio, television, electronics in your spare time. Oh, action figure person. Oh, I got bags of action figures, but they're not like, I don't know. They're like loose ones. I'm not sure if they're any. If they're good. I've tried selling them as a whole lot and everything like that. But I have one Ultraman though. I kind of like him. I'm keeping him. I was at a show, like a toy show, selling stuff, and this guy just had like a whole huge box full of Ultraman. I said, "Well, how much money?" He said, $3. I said, "Okay." So he sold me an Ultraman for $3. So I felt kind of bad for him. He had so many of these things, and they really weren't worth a whole lot, and he wasn't really making a whole lot of sales. But maybe he should learn radio and television electronics in his spare time. This guy was in a lot of things. This is Charles Atlas. Yeah, Charles Atlas. He had all these ads about his bodybuilding courses and things like that. Make money with your telephone. That's what I'm doing right now. Well, I'm not making any money though. What does it take to feel like a man? Well, I guess it's launching missiles at your enemy. Maybe that'll do it. Earn big money at home in spare time. Start your own business. Take it from this guy. Big pay jobs. Special factory training in diesel. Plastic laminating at home. I'm not sure why that's a thing, but that machine looks pretty cool though. Probably stinks up the house. Oh, big money in cartooning art. Yeah, there's big money in that. Let's see. Here's some people write in with stuff, they contribute to the magazine. Home handyman. These were very popular. In fact, before the internet was the thing, I wanted to replumb my house, put in all new pipes. They had these old style kind of steel pipes, and they were getting rusty on the inside, and we were losing water pressure. So I said, well, I'll pick up a Time Life book at the library, and I read the book, and it showed you how to sweat the pipes so they were copper, so you could seal them and everything. And I did the whole house. The problem was when I got done, the toilet was flushing hot, and that was a problem. I had to go down and reverse the pipe so the cold water was going to the John. And so I guess they're UK. What do they call the toilet in the UK? I forgot what they call it. Maybe just call it toilet. I know in Australia they were calling it. Oh, I forgot. I was watching this plumber, this Australian plumber, and the dunny. You can call it the dunny. Yeah, the toilet. I don't know if they have a different word. I've been in England twice, but we just call it toilet. I guess that was the word. But in Australia, they're calling it a dunny. I don't know. They have different words for things. Like the whole boot versus trunk. I guess ours was called the trunk because the cars, they would just strap a trunk to the back of it, like a one for going on a long trip. So I just called it a trunk and it just stuck all this time. All right, let's see. Oh, here's something about movie making. Oh, Zoom movie camera. Oh, yeah, there you are. Only 2170 for a camera. Hmm. Oh, the Lou. Yeah, that's what it was. The Lou. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of times. I mean, when I was a kid, they would always call it the John, especially if it's like a camping situation. You're outdoor camping. And, go to the John. That's the only time we called it a John. Yep, there's more ads about repairing this and that. Put yourself in the driver's seat. Oh, yep, look at right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says start in your spare time. Start a spare time business. These people have a lot of extra time on their hands. Maybe I don't know. Big discounts on guitars. Guitar World. A couple times I looked up the addresses of some of these places that are in here. The Lou. I don't know why we called it the John. I thought maybe because of the guy who invented it or something. I don't know. I didn't ask that question of my parents. I said, "Hey, why do we call it the John when we go camping?" We don't know. All right, so there's all that. Something about socket wrenches. Let's look at the back ads here. I mean, there'll be this one. Is this? This wasn't the one that had the. Oh man, there was one. I don't know which one of these magazines had. It had a thing about ovulation, some new device to detect ovulation and stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, there's stuff about guns, just typical guy stuff. Drawing guides. Draw this. There's a 63 Allied tool catalog. Oh, here's a DeWalt. What is this thing? Oh, a planer? Wow, that's a crazy planer. It's just like a little disc. You just run the board back and forth to cut it down. Now it's like a big long blade, like a set of 3 blades on a cylinder. Wow, I mean that would take forever to plane down a board to the thickness you need. Huh. Okay, here's some ideas for your home. After used with water, save steel wool for reuse by submerging it in a solution of baking soda and water. Soda is a rust inhibitor. Huh, go figure. Oh, you want to see him on the couch? I know one time I walked in on that too, and I'm going, all right, what's going on here? Yeah, I mean, maybe his is a lot more interesting than mine. I don't really know. I'm doing dad stuff. It'd probably be a lot more interesting if he's down here talking to me, I suppose. But because we were doing some whatnot auctions, and it was a lot more fun having him, someone to talk to, and we could make it a little bit fun. People would stick around a bit longer, I think, for the entertainment. Oh, you're interested in this? I mean, this magazine or in whatnot? Oh, you're interested? Oh, in what I'm doing here? Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, I'm glad you are. I mean, I got I got a nice stack of these magazines. I won't keep going on forever on that, but let's see. Is your shower head frozen? Soak it overnight in vinegar or a mild solution of muriatic acid. Okay, if you put your shower head in muriatic acid, when you take it out, all the chrome on it is gonna be gone because it's gonna just eat it up. But muriatic acid is just a form of hydrochloric acid. So no, don't do that, people. Do not put your shower head. And I think by frozen they mean like there's deposits of lime and rust and stuff in it. So yeah, I know. The ads are the best in this, and I love the advice that they're giving you because All right, let's see. To preserve the finish of copper, planters, copper planters, coat the inside of the planters with melted paraffin wax. Protects the copper from lime and minerals. Well, I guess that could work, but it would probably wear off pretty easily. I don't know. If snow burdens your plants and trees, and it does, there follows several. There are several days of intense cold. You may not be able to give required hosing, but you can use a broom to gently brush and shake the branches until the snow is. Oh, okay. So if you got a tree with snow on it, use a broom to knock it off. They really talk around that. Guess maybe they're trying to sound smart. They got it. Oh yeah, I know the instructions. Add a decorative wall niche to your room by cutting away the existing lath and plaster. Oh yeah. Come home and you're doing this, and your wife's going, "What are you doing to the wall?" Yeah, that'd be something you want to talk about first. But our house has lath and plaster. It was built in 1946, and so instead of having drywall, they would take basically liquid like pasty plaster, and you just stick it to the wall, and the wall would have like these um, boards going across. They're called lath, and there's a little gap in between them. And when you ooze the plaster in, it would kind of grab on. It wasn't adhesive, so what it would do, you'd squish it in there, and it would grab on like this, and it would harden and stick to the walls. So there's no adhesive on the walls; it's just kind of grabbing on like that. And that plaster that oozes through the back of the lap is called a key, and that just holds it on there. And so our whole house is held together. The walls are held together by that for the most part. So yeah, it's hard to find people that will do that kind of work. So they generally replace it with drywall now because it's not worth it. It looks the same when you get done anyway. So yeah, well, I know a few things. I know I know enough stuff to be dangerous with home repairs. Okay, let's see if we get to the ads. Warm and cold air fan. I thought they were saying put ice behind it, light a fire behind it. I don't know. None of these ideas are probably that good. Phono amp plays. Always showing you how to build an amplifier. Yeah, you could build an amplifier. Most people are not going to go to that trouble. They should go buying an amplifier. That's more of a thing you buy, I suppose. But I mean, you can make one. Shop kinks. What the heck's that supposed to mean? Shop kinks. That I don't know. The language at that time is just the sayings and stuff are just different. Oh, there it is. Phono amp plays FM tuner. Oh, okay. So you can build an FM tuner. They give you the diagrams. Servicing the front suspension on your car. Cars were taller back then. You could actually get underneath there. I used to change my own oil. You just crawl underneath the car, open up the little bolt hole to get in there, and oil comes out. You put new oil in, change your filter, you're gone. Now I can't get underneath there. They're just so low to the ground, probably for aerodynamics. Now start enjoying the best of two worlds, city and western living. $10 per month, $10 down, $595 for 2.5 acres, just 1.5 miles from Elko, Nevada. I don't know where Elko, Nevada is, but it sounds like it's in the middle of it. I mean, most of Nevada all of Nevada is a desert. Okay, it's not as most of it. All of it is a desert. And we've just kind of basically terraformed it to have water and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the weather is warm there, that's for sure. If you like the warm weather, even in the winter. Yep, there we go. There's servicing your suspension. There, be the man in demand. Let's see, train at home. Let's see, is it in your spare time? Train at home for a high-paying job in one of these 4 major fields. I didn't say in your spare time, but they're implying it. They're implying it's spare time. All right. Squirt. A $60 shallow draft small boat drive based on Newton's third law of physics. So it's got a looks like it has a pump and it's shooting water out behind you. And I suppose for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. And here's a diagram of what it would look like. So it's going to suck up water from the bottom. Water access holes 1.25 inches in diameter, goes through a pump. Jet tube probably reduces it down a bit so you get enough pressure, and you may be going at speeds in excess of 2 or 3 miles per hour, I'm guessing. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't sound like it's the most efficient way to get around, but yeah. Let's see, anything here? No, nothing in your spare time. Candles. Well, there's something. Free candle mold franchise and club membership puts you in the world's most exciting and profitable business. Candles, really? Well, I guess they think it is. you know, and there's always had like this guy's. It's usually a guy's face cut out there, like and he's giving a testimony about how great this thing is. We don't know if that guy is actually saying that or anything. Nobody knows. Oh, learn meat cutting. Hmm. Oh, you can learn by doing under the actual meat conditions in the big modern school at Toledo. Well, Toledo, Ohio. Hmm. I mean, I like going. There's a place I like to go eat there. It's called Tony Paco's. They have amazing Hungarian food there, and hot dogs. They're known for their hot dogs. All right. Ready cut homes direct from the mill. So I guess you buy all the parts and put it together. Probably give you a diagram. Now, why would you want this thing? It's electrostatic generators. Now we would use these things. I worked at a science museum when I was in college, and it's called a Van de Graaff generator. And I guess you could generate a lot of voltage and all that, but like to what purpose? I mean, you just want to have fun with it, I suppose, but comes all the way from Massachusetts. Oh, go dive, Skin Diver magazine. I think I can call it. It's called skin diving. It's called scuba diving now. Or maybe they have scuba gear back then. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like he's got scuba gear on. Let's see. We got to the end of this thing. Usually, that's where these are all the cheap ads are back here. So you get like smaller ads for weirder stuff. Magic radio walkie-talkie, stories for men. Let's see. Oh, this ought to be good. This ought to be good. A book of the most fantastic stories, photos, and illustrations you've ever seen, at least not since you used to pass them along on typewritten pages back in the good old days, straight from the rare originals with every detail intact, every description vivid, your complete satisfaction guarantees. Midget and the Duchess. Okay. These are the names of the stories. Midget and the Duchess, Young Lady and Her Dog. All right. I was captive to 6 women. What? Day with Traveling Salesman and many others. Now, a couple of those are kind of, like, you could pique your interest in it, but A Day with a Traveling Salesman and Young Lady and Her Dog. I mean, what's going on there, Now, of course, it comes from LA. 10 delightful, exciting movies. Fantastic offers at 10 movies and 8mm film for only $2. Also from Los Angeles. There's a false teeth ad. Accordion prices smashed. Save up to one half. They'd have to smash it a lot further than that for anyone to buy one of these. From the Accordion Corporation of America, West Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, see, now here's a planer saw. This one's got a molding. You can make different types of molding for your house, but that's what a planer normally would look like. Not that other thing. That was kind of weird. Saddle kits, free U.S. stamps. Probably a lot of shipping and handling. Engine torque, build yourself workbench. White glue gets results. Car repair. You can order back issues of the magazine for $1. How to earn extra money. Science mechanics and over entirely new. Oh, you can sell this magazine. Direct sales that magazine. And if you thought those are the cheap ads, imagine how cheap these ads must be. There's not even any pictures, one says, do this in your spare time. Maybe there is. But they have, here's additional income, agents wanted for what? Sell beautiful curios, sell on site, Mexico City. Yeah, I'm not going to be selling nothing in Mexico City. Use new watches, mail, boats and marine supplies, aviation. Sell aircraft tubing. I'm shaking my head here. Look at all these. Detectives, do-it-yourself, perfume from flowers, guaranteed, easy instructions, $1. So you're only buying the instructions. That's all you're getting is instructions. Employment information, how to get a job, probably. Government surplus. Now, government surplus was very popular, especially after World War II was over, because after the war, the army or the military in the U.S. had a lot of extra stuff that they didn't know what to do with it, so they decided to sell it. Now, they weren't selling like bombs and things like that, but they were selling like clothing and bedding and things like mess kits, stuff that they didn't need any longer because they didn't have the giant, they weren't needed a giant army anymore. So they had all these things that they had manufactured. So in order to recuperate some of the money, they decided to sell it, and all these stores would pop up called army surplus stores. And there's actually one just a few blocks from my house is still around, even though they sell very little army surplus in there now. They mostly sell like adventure clothing and that kind of thing. So, but it's a fun store to go in there. If you need a pair of handcuffs or something, that's their place. So, self-teaching encyclopedias. So that's now this made it onto the back. Now this is probably the most expensive ad in the magazine would be the back cover, because when you put down a magazine, you have a 50-50 chance of going this way or this way, and then people would see the ad. But this is the new rubber stamp business, pays beginners $9.20 an hour. Now, in 1963, that was a lot. That's a lot. No one was making $9.20 an hour, especially making rubber stamps. Probably in your spare time. Oh yeah, there it is. Start at home in your spare time with this little tabletop machine. People will be, ringing your phone off the hook. Oh man, I need rubber stamps. So many rubber stamps are needed. Okay. Let's see. Here's another fun one here. This is a popular science magazine. It's kind of coming apart though. It's too bad. This one says only 20 cents, so it's got to be old. I mean, look at this plane here. I got cut off the date, but let's see if we can figure out the date. So probably, yeah, it went like this. Oh, November 1942. And that's an oldie right there. Okay, so there'll probably be ads at the beginning, and then there'll be ads at the back. And that's where all the fun is. There's BF Goodrich. Now, this magazine was Popular Science was a lot bigger production than Science and Mechanics. I mean, so that you're going to see company names of companies that you've probably heard of before, like BF Goodrich tires, for example. Pepsi, Quick Food Energy, the India Rubber Man, Pepsi Cola. Oh, ha 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 ha! So funny, so funny there. He's firing telephone wire at a zero. Okay, well, a zero is what they would call a target from a plane. All right, electricians. Oh, there's Charles Atlas again. Confidently, I like He-Man. Oh, confidentially, I like He-Man. Yes, he was Autolite batteries. I'm not sure if they're even still around, but that was a big company that made batteries. Practical electricity. Home training helps you win. Drafting. Oh, you could complete high school. Electricity. Mechanical. Engerging. Engerging. I'm sure they're trying to be short for engineering. They couldn't fit it all in there. And for pipes. Yeah, high school completion was a big thing. After the war, a lot of people went in to the military. They were drafted in the military, and they had not finished high school. So the U.S. Developed a system of adult education where they could then go back to school and get their high school diploma. And then I believe they invented something called the GED, which was the test you could take instead of that. So that way we would have an untrained, uneducated, population. And then I'm not sure if that was the time, but they had the GI Bill where they could then get college training, college education as well. I'm not sure if that came about right after World War II, but this is during World War II, 1942. So in the midst of it there. So they've got all kinds of ads for do this, learn this skill. You know, all I'm trying to think here is that maybe like these people that dropped out of high school. Oh, G-Man outfit. Now I know, is this a G-Man? Okay, maybe they're just kids reading this, but it says, "Boys earn a G-Man set, microscope, movie, athletic equipment, or any of the 200 other prizes. Make money too. It's easy. Deliver colliers to customers to uh, obtain near home. Do it in spare time." To start right today, giving your age to Jim Thayer, Department 964, in Springfield, Ohio. I'm not really sure. G-Man, that was a old term for a government, like a government agent. They call them G-Man for the government. But I'm not even sure what they're even trying to do there. Testolite. Yeah, these things you can get these at the Home Depot and all that for a couple bucks now. Patent idea. Theater today. Popular science on the screen. What's this here? Speak Spanish, French, German, or Italian this easy way. The Corinthia Academy. Aircraft instruments. Aviation. Female beauty around the world. Then here's the cheap ads. Now they put their cheap ads up in the front here. Ready cash hot potato chips. Learn how to make hot potato chips in your spare time. Bubble glass floats like cork. Oh, this is probably something like fiberglass, I imagine. Yeah. Foam glass does not absorb water. Foam. Interesting. All right, let's see. Well, there's some ads in there. These people flying around. The aerial family car. That never did happen, did it? We don't have flying cars yet, do we? Hmm. Can you decipher these hidden messages? Yeah, my brother-in-law was a cipher during the Vietnam era. He would decoding stuff and sending messages in code. The Jeep gets a big brother, 3/4 ton. Oh yeah, look at this thing. Ambulance. That wasn't. They showed that in MASH a lot. I'm glad a couple thumbs up on this. Yeah, these magazines typically would have a lot of stuff regarding the war effort. 155 millimeter gun. I can't imagine that they're putting like secret stuff in this magazine. Now that wouldn't make any sense, but it's probably like inventions and that kind of thing. Yeah, right. And I hear some. It clearly says it's an idea, just an idea. All right. It says, let's see, troops may move on roller skates to save gasoline and tire rubber. So I don't know. Maybe they've never been in a war, but it's unlikely that they're going to be able to roller skate in most of the surfaces that they're going to encounter during war, you know. What if my friends that were in the military ever saw any people skating around there? And building home movie sets. Camera users. Taking pictures was so complicated back then. I just whip out your phone, you're done. And it usually looks pretty good. About carburetors. I don't use those anymore. Trouble comes double. Is this a story? Yeah, he took 3 large tablets and dropped them into a gas tank. Then he got into the car and stepped on the starter. The engine took off. Here's ideas for autos. Flat tire warning. Painting miles on tires. Portable wheel aligner. Wheels went on alignment that often that you would need a portable alignment tool. That's funny. This see this device here. This is it's a caliper for measuring the thickness of things. It's very precise. You know, I actually have some of these for sale in my eBay store right now. I don't think they're that old, but they look almost identical to this. So you'd put something in here, and then you twist this part, and then you would read the dial here, and it would tell you the thickness of that material. I'm not a machinist, but I know how to use one of those. Toy Army tank. Yep. Kids in the war. Oh, jigsaw puzzles go military. Silver chest. Yeah, there's a thing with using the micrometer in there. Usually micrometers are usually used in metal parts. You can use them in wood too, for some things. You can use them on anything really, trying to measure thickness of. Converting oil burners to use coal or coke. Oh, all right. Not sure why you'd have a burner. Keeping the home ship shape. Oh, you put clothesline in your basement. Well, that's nothing new. Candles won't wobble in holders when held by adhesive tape. Well, that's true. Uses a shaker, a tea ball will distribute powdered sugar evenly quickly with a small amount as needed for sweetening fruits or garnishing cookies. See, special orders blow out of a milk bottle at your door. Oh, people, okay. Well, if you didn't know, people um, would often get things like milk and bread and stuff delivered to their house on a regular basis. But if you needed something special, you could leave a note in you would give the milkman the empty milk bottles, and they would take them back and wash them. They won't wash themselves, but in machines and stuff, they would wash the bottles and they'd refill them again. But if you wanted something, oh, hey, give me some buttermilk or whatever, and then you could leave a note in there, and they would leave buttermilk for you. So that's what this is about. So this solves the problem of the note blowing away. Jeez, that took a lot of explaining. Yeah, I remember as a kid, we didn't have a milkman. We did have a bread man, though. He would come and sell bread to my mother. Sometimes they had these little ice cream things called push-ups. Housekeeping aids, coffee filter. A lot of stuff we still have that we have today. Nothing crazy. Crack masonry. I don't have time for all that. What's this guy doing? Test shows how your heating plant works. I've already lost interest in that one. That's a lot of reading there. Sugar, vital food for men and guns. Well, you can make carbon black from sugar, I guess. You can burn it. Doesn't smell good, that's for sure. Radio receiver and amplifier. Here, let's follow the simple diagram. Well, I'm glad you like it. I know this is an old magazine from the 1940s, November 1942, before my time. But things were quite different then. How people talk to each other and things that how they're advertised and stuff. A lot of the stuff is quite racist. I mean, some of these magazines you're going, I'm not going to show that to anybody. A lot of times I'll take these magazines, if they have like full page ads, I'll cut them out and I sell them as well. Because the magazines on their own really aren't worth selling. They're maybe worth a couple dollars if you find someone that's interested in buying them. But the ads are kind of fun. People will frame them. They'll take the ads and I have a couple in our family room at home. Actually, they're the covers from a couple of popular science magazines. They had just interesting covers on them. So yeah, Douglas shoes, war workers everywhere. Oh, live in a Schultz trailer. Oh, here's one for Harley Davidson. Now they're still in business. We know that. Motorcycles all over the country are serving in civilian defense duty. Members proudly use their rugged, dependable Harley Davidson for for messenger and errand services, escort and patrol duty, and render valuable aid to other volunteer branches. Mail the coupon now for this magazine. I guess you get a magazine out of it. It'd be fun to cut out one of these things. Send a letter to that address and see what happens. Probably just come back to you. One time I looked up one place that was in Detroit. I live near Detroit, Michigan, and I looked up the address, and it's just it was like, learn how to do this, so send away for that. I just looked it up as some guy's house. So okay, well, I'm gonna get off here, everybody. I'm gonna get some of these ads ready to go and that kind of thing, and they can listen to my son Rob doing whatever he does on his lives. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great night.